20 turnovers. 20 turnovers. And damn near half of those came in the first quarter. What what is going on with this
I don't
Pistons
know.
team?
I don't know. It's
I
like
mean,
it's the ghost of last year is just in every player on this team's eyes. It's insane.
I mean, granted, shout out to Cade Cunningham for only having one of the 20 turnovers with all the
For
eyes on
real.
him. That's insane, honestly. But dang, man, it's every game.
It's every freaking game. And it seems like, and granted, like I understand that you're at the highest level of basketball in the world and these are the best players in the world and we've been playing good teams, but good God, like it seems like it's such a simple thing to fix. Like it really just comes in like I at least I think it really just comes into like how locked in are you? Like how locked in are you? How well are you seeing the court right now? Like where are you? Where is your brain at right now? Like it's so bad.
Yeah, so just to give everybody the setting, we are currently recording with 5 minutes left in the Pistons Knicks game, and the Pistons are down 118 to 88 to the Knicks right now in the fourth quarter.
We were down 30 in the first quarter.
Yep. Yep. Don't love it. Don't love it.
I don't like anything that I'm seeing right now outside of Cade, I'm gonna be honest. Jaden Ivey's had a pretty decent start to the year. But I don't love anything that I'm seeing. This game was just like horrible shots being to what I didn't want to get into this already, but like honestly, it's on my mind and I just gotta say it. Like, what is the identity of this team? Like, what is the like what are we doing? What is our mission? What's our goal? Like, where are we at? Like, are we just trying to not lose 30 games in a row? Like, is that really the just the only goal for this entire season?
Man, I don't even know at this point. Going into this season, it seemed like effort, intensity, and defense were going to be our callings, but as the
It ain't been defense.
unfolded thus far, it like you said, it has not been the case. Effort and energy has kind of been there, but
Honestly, though, like
it
the
it
effort,
lately it's been in spurts. The first few games it was there. Lately it's been in spurts now.
I
Like
feel like the starting 0 and 4 just killed any momentum we had going into the season.
it,
Just killed it all.
it's tough. Especially with a young team that's coming off of such an awful season last year. That's a tough thing to kind of overcome.
Obviously, we lost so many games last year, and the young pieces on our team, like that's all they've known. You know, anybody that's been drafted in the last, I mean, 10 years, I mean, aside from a couple of years with Blake, like all they've known is just how to lose. Like we don't know how to win games. It's so upsetting to watch. But I mean you kind of understand it though cuz we lost so much last year. We won what did we win 14 games last year?
That sounds about right.
Like 14 out of 82. You should have 82 times and you only won 14 times.
I honestly don't remember the exact number just because last year was last year. It might have been 19. It was somewhere
But
in that
like
range.
and I say that to say, like, I understand that obviously we're not just going to come out and like Cade and Jaden and I or Duran and all those guys, like they just know how to win now. I understand that, but good God.
Yeah, it's not fun basketball. And for the first, what was it, 3 games of the season, it looked like we were putting together most of an NBA game, but just couldn't finish at the end.
Yep.
And now it's like it just like you said, it's like a flashback to last year, where
Yep.
it's not even a game to begin with. The bright spots so far, Cade and Ivy, they've both, I would say, have met expectations thus far in
Hmm.
terms of their production. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a guy who's a little controversial from a fan's perspective in terms of people wanting to see him play and people wanting him off the floor, but I feel like for the most part, he's done his job well to start the
For
year.
sure. For
Tobias
sure.
Harris, though, he's been underwhelming statistically, I will say.
Yeah.
Like obviously he's a vet you want to have around in the locker room and everything like that, but just on the court stuff, it hasn't been there statistically thus far for him yet. So that's been a
No.
little disappointing. And then Jalen Duren, I know you got some things to say about JD.
I, I I mean, I don't want to disrespect the man. I just feel like that it just doesn't look like the same player that we drafted. The effort's not there. It just seems so slow and so flat, and there's none of that like flashes of insane athleticism that we saw when he was a
Mhm.
rookie. And yeah, like he's not even the one thing that he can do better than most guys is rebound, and he's not even rebounding all that well right now.
He's not matching up well with other centers right now for sure.
No, not at all.
It's not been
He
pretty.
he looks lost. Like he looks like on defense he just doesn't know where to go, doesn't
He,
know what to do.
mhm.
Tonight especially, like it seemed like every time Cat was it or every time JD was on Cat had a wide open three.
Cat has been beating Pistons centers since he stepped into the league. It doesn't matter who it is. For whatever reason, we don't have anybody who can stop Karl Anthony Towns, which I mean, that's an all-star caliber player, but still it's the same thing every year.
Well, and it's not like Cat is a really good player, but it's not like Cat is one of those guys like the Lukas or the Shays or the Jokic where it's like, man, those are like the real like difference makers in the league, and Cat's not one of those guys, and a really good player, but it shouldn't be consistent that he's just torching us every year. I mean, get him off the 3-point line. Like there was one time in the game where he tried backing down Duran and Duran bodied him up. And
Mhm.
it's like get him off the 3-point line. Like why do we if we want Jalen Duran around the rim, why don't we have Stu and Duran running out there together? I'm not saying every game, but for this game specifically, like at least let Stu chase him around the 3-point line. If he overplays him and he gets blown by, then Duran's there at the rim. But like what why do we have at this point? I mean, I feel like we should know Duran's limits and weaknesses and stuff. Like, why are we not game planning around that? Why are we just putting him on an island with a guy who's gonna be at the 3-point line every possession?
Yeah, it's just been disappointing to watch thus far.
It
I,
has.
I will say Isaiah Stewart has been solid off the bench this year.
Yes.
But other than that, though, there hasn't been really too many bright spots to start this season. What are we now? 1-5 after this, or 1-6?
It's either 1-5 or 1-6. A couple of the games this year, like you said, if we're able to play better the last 5 minutes of the game or so, we're probably not 1-6. But man, tonight just like that one was one where it's like this is the exact same team as last year.
Tonight was one of those games where I almost turned the game off to go watch Dexter at multiple points.
Yeah.
It is just awful, awful performance tonight by the Pistons.
It's really upsetting too as a fan, and I'm sure a lot of like, dude, we're basketball fans. Like we look forward to this stuff. Like we look forward to these games being on. And I'm sure I'm speaking for every single Pistons fan out there where it's like we're at work looking forward to being home and being able to like watch the game. Like we want to see our favorite players like Cade and Ivy, and I mean even Duran, like even though he hasn't played well, like these are guys that are homegrown, and it's just upsetting that we have to, turn the game on after waiting all day to watch it, and that's the product that they put out. It's just really, really upsetting.
Yeah, 100%, dude. It has not been a fun start to this season, and a
No.
season in which I would say there was a good number of fans that were expecting a better start to the season.
Yep.
One win in what is it, 7 games or whatever it is.
Yep.
It's not something to be happy about. And I'm sure, our guys are just as frustrated, especially the ones
Oh
who
yeah,
really
absolutely.
want to win, such as Cade and Ivy. I know they're sick of this, but
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You can see it on Cade's face every time we lose.
mhm.
Like you can just see how over and how tired he is. And I mean, one bright spot I will say, it seems like Tobias and Cade are communicating a lot when they're out there together.
Yes, 100%.
And that's good to see because that's exactly I think why you bring in a guy like Tobias Harris, like obviously what he can do on the court, but also just what he can do for a guy because he's played around some great players and just what he can do for a guy like Cade and a guy like Ivy too, because Ivy seems like Ivy's who we thought he was. Last year was just I think it was just a down year because Ivy is like he's been playing well.
Hmm.
But I mean, if we could pull any bright spot, like that's the one that I've noticed. You have one that you've seen that you at least. I mean, I know tonight is not like it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, but has there been anything you've seen that's been like, okay, I do like this
I mean, I think you already kind of hammered home on it. Jaden Ivey to start the year, he's been meeting, if not exceeding expectations for this year. He's been full speed ahead. He's getting to the basket, getting to the free throw line. He's
stuff?
playing hard. He's making better decisions. Still has some room to grow, but for the most part, I've been really impressed by his game thus far.
Yep,
I mean, his jump shot is coming around. His efforts all always there.
yep,
He's he's looking like the guy we were expecting after we drafted him.
yep, for
He's
sure.
I hope he's able to keep that consistency throughout the year. That's going to be the thing to watch as the season goes on. But yeah, thus far, Jaden Ivey's impressed me for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and he really seems like he wants to be here and he wants to win here.
Hmm.
And obviously, I mean, his mom played in Detroit. Like he's got ties to the city for sure, but he wants to be here. He wants to play well for us and he wants us to win. And those are the like uh, one, brought up bright spots, but now I'm going to bring up another rough one is Fontecchio has not looked like the guy that we signed. He has
No,
looked it's like he's almost struggling to kind of find out who he is out there and who he is to the team, and it hasn't looked great
granted, he is getting back into playing NBA basketball after being off for so long, but at the same time, you are still correct. Like he has not looked as fans have hoped thus far. I know a lot of
Mm-mm,
people were high on him in the off season going into this season, and he just has not looked like that guy just yet. Hopefully he's able to turn it around, but there's going to come a point in this year where we're gonna have to make some decisions in terms of personnel, especially
for
with
sure.
that December 15th date coming around here where guys are eligible to be traded and whatnot. I think it's gonna be some tough decisions to make for that front office because if this keeps up, it we can't have a repeat of last year. We just can't.
And I really don't think that Trajan would let it get there. I do believe that he would do anything he can. Like obviously this early into the season, you can't really do anything, you know. But he set this team up in a way where if we need to make some moves, we can. I mean, even if we were to, and I don't know if I really want this to happen just yet, but even if we were to get rid of a Tobias, like his contract is tradable
Hmm.
for sure. It's not a crazy contract. It was 2 years and what was it, 25 or 30, something like that. We've got the Tim Hardaway Juniors and we've got the Malik Beasleys and we've got the Jalen Durans and the Isaiah Stewarts. And granted, I think you get a lot more for Jalen Duren if you trade him last year versus if you trade him, at least if his play continues this way. Um, but we should. I just the way that this has looked like we need to make a move. Like
Yeah, I'm there with you. I will say though, when talking about trading some of these guys, I don't know who exactly is available at their position that would produce more than they are right now. As crazy as that sounds, you know what I
I
mean? So
yeah,
when we're talking about trading like a Jalen Duren, 100% I understand it, understand the rationale behind it. But then bodes the question, okay, where are we going out to get to fill that void? Because I know many people don't want Isaiah Stewart to be our starting center. So you're looking to get somebody who's as good as Dern, if not better than both him and Isaiah Stewart. And I just don't know who that guy is right now in the league that we can go out and get.
I agree with you. I just think at this point, like we need a center that can just be in the right place at the right times. And it's not going to be Paul Reed. Like Paul Reed's not going to start for us. He's not going to become our starting center.
Oh,
Isaiah Stewart, if Isaiah Stewart's got to play center for us for a half a season, is it going to be any worse than it is right now? Because
I don't
I will
know.
tell you what, I saw a stat today. I don't know where it
The
was. Our on like
mhm.
defensive rating on versus off the court has a 22.9 difference when Stu's on the floor versus when he's not.
Yep. Nah, I
Like
seen that too.
Tobias is a solid rebounder. That's something that I didn't know about him, but just watching, Tobias is a solid rebounder, and so is Stu. Like he's not gonna go out there. He's not gonna rebound like Jalen Duren will, but uh, I mean the numbers speak for themselves on when he's on the court.
No, I got you. I got you. I just don't know what center is out there really for us to go get, I guess is what I'm hammering at, regardless of
We need wing
whether,
defenders though, dude. We have none. We
well,
have
our best one is still out, unfortunately, but
That's
we
true. Like
definitely need another one.
we need another one that could maybe like hit a shot if he's wide open.
We need
Like
one to
we
lead by example.
yeah, we need a Royce O'Neal is what we need.
We need
Like
a Royce O'Neal, a Jay Crowder, PJ Tucker, somebody to to set that example for, the Asar Thompson, the Ron Holland, those guys that we have currently. And same thing with playmaking. We gotta, I don't want to get too deep into it, but we definitely need to bring in another playmaker, somebody who can take that pressure off of Cade when he's out
yep,
there and when
agreed.
Ivy's not out there. Because when Cade's not out there, usually Ivy's on the floor, and Ivy's done a good job thus far, but we can still use another playmaker out there with those guys.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
look at look at Shea, for instance. He had that year with Chris Paul, right, in OKC,
Hmm.
and you see what that's done for him. We
Absolutely.
we need to go out and try to find somebody who can take that load off of those guys and also still be productive out on the court. Easier said
Yeah.
than done, but that's just my 2 cents.
The spacing with Cade has worked. Like,
Oh yeah.
even though our guys aren't hitting shots like right now, like Malik Beasley's not shooting that well. It's Malik Beasley. Like he's gonna start making shots. Um, Tim Hardaway Jr. not I would say not a sniper like Beasley has, but he shot pretty well to begin the season. Um, but the spacing around Cade has worked, but it's just on the defensive end. Like it's so bad. It's
Hmm.
everybody's open all the time. Like how many possessions do we end defensively on a wide open shot? Because it's guys just get lost. And Ron Holland, we want to talk about him a little bit because Ron Holland is getting more minutes than I thought he would, for sure. Um,
I
Now,
mean,
granted, I know Asar's out, but Ron Holland is getting a lot of minutes, and he's had a long leash.
because who else are you gonna play? That's the thing.
I don't know, but there's some points in this game where it's like, bro, he needs to get off the court. Like
Nah,
he
I
needs to. he needs to get off the court and settle down.
I get that. It's just it's tough to do right now because you're looking at basically just Fontecchio and Beasley at those wing positions right now, and other than those two guys who are usually they're usually on the court with Ron Holland, if anything.
Yeah,
That's tough to replace, but yeah, man, something's got to give. I think we're gonna hit that point if we're not already there, and something's gonna have to happen. Otherwise, this is not gonna be pretty for the rest of the year.
nope.
Uh-uh.
This is ugly.
Yeah, this has not been a good start thus far. But hopefully they can figure it out before it gets to that point, because we do not need another repeat of last year. They get
No.
another they get another crack at things on Sunday against the Brooklyn Nets. So
And then we got the
that's ju-
Lakers on Monday, right?
oh, we do.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
We got the Nets and the Lakers. The Nets is a winnable game.
Brooklyn, we should win. Will we win? We'll see.
We'll see what team we get.
We'll see. All right. That does it from me. Jordan, you got anything else?
No, I'm just okay, one other thing. I think Isaiah Stewart needs to start at center the next game. I think that that needs to happen, and not even because I think the best version of Stu is better than the best version of Duran, but Isaiah Stewart needs to start until Duran can show that he deserves to be out there for that long.
I agree. I agree. At this point, the way Durham's been playing, I agree.
And I don't mean to harp on the dude, and I know we got to get out of here, but it's just not looked good. It just hasn't.
No, it has not. Hopefully that'll if that does happen, hopefully that'll, spark something in Durham.
Oh, for sure. I got a Duran jersey. I love the dude, but
Oh, I know.
he's not playing well right now. And it's really upsetting.
Yeah, it's hurting us a lot.
Yep.
But all right. See you guys
Yep.
next time.
Peace.
Go Pistons.